Hi guys, in today's video I want to give you 3 tips which really helped me in the early days of running using the Maffetone method. Now, you might be a long time runner coming back from injury or looking for a different type of running method, or you might be just a new runner looking to get fit using the MAF running method. And we all know, guys, if you are using the MAF method, how frustrating it can be in the early days of using the low heart rate method. So hopefully these 3 tips which helped me in the early stages may help you along in your journey as well. So let's get going. Alright guys, tip number 1 is your watch. Obviously you're going to need a watch that tracks the heart rate, but that's all you need. Get rid of everything else that goes with the watch and just concentrate on that heart rate. Don't worry about pace or distance or anything like that. The main thing is to track your heart rate, and this is the mistake that I made, that early on I concentrated too much on pace, and that really came back to bite me because that just built the frustration. So as soon as I turned off the pace and the distance and just concentrated on the heart rate, runs just became so much more enjoyable. So guys, early on, just look at the heart rate, don't worry about anything else. If you want to track your course and see how far you've actually gone, do it before or after you run. So if that's how you want to roll, but heart rate's number 1, guys. And look, don't worry about the pace in those early runs using the MAF, because as you get deeper and deeper into the MAF, I've got sweat in my eyes. As you get deeper and deeper into the MAF, you'll find that your pace will increase as that aerobic engine starts to build. Now, if you are using the MAF method for your running, then you've obviously used the 180 formula to work out what your MAF heart rate level is to be in that aerobic heart rate zone. Just in case you don't know what that's all about, guys, I'll put a link to the 180 formula down below here, so you can go and check that out online and work out how to ascertain your heart rate for that aerobic zone. But basic is 180 minus your age, and then there's some variations if you've been exercising for a while, etc. But check it out on the website to get that correct figure for your aerobic heart rate level. Tip number 2, guys, you're going to want to pick your terrain. Now this is easier said than done, because you really want to be running on flat terrain, and obviously depending on where you live, it may be easy or it may not be easy. For me, I picked a grass field, a soccer field or a football field, and just did laps in those early stages. It was flat, but you just need to find somewhere that's going to be as flat as possible, because the main aim is to maintain a level heart rate during your runs. You want to make sure that you're sticking to that MAF aerobic heart rate level. So obviously the flatter the better. Guys, just pick something that's flat in your neighbourhood. It might be just around the block. You might have to do a number of laps. It might be a soccer field, like I said. It might be just up and down along a stretch of flat road. But the flatter the better. It'll keep that heart rate at a nice constant level, and it will make it a lot easier to stick to your MAF heart rate levels. And what I should have also mentioned then too, guys, was hills. Try and steer clear of the hills, because obviously hills are going to make your heart rate elevate, because you're going to work a little bit harder going up them, and that's going to make it more difficult to keep that MAF heart rate level that you're supposed to be sticking to. The main aim, and this is what I found, was that you need to be running as much as possible during these MAF runs. So, try and steer clear of the hills and just be consistent with that running for the whole session that you've got planned. And I think that you'll find then that, you know, your improvement will be a lot quicker if you're running all the time, rather than having to stop, start and walk to keep that heart rate level down. Alright, tip number 3. You want to make sure that you can take your mind away from what you're actually doing, concentrating on that heart rate. So get the music, podcast or whatever you like listening to, throw it in the ears and just lose yourself in the music or the podcast or whatever you're listening to. It just takes away from concentrating so much on sticking to that heart rate level. Of course, you're going to have to keep checking your heart rate to make sure you're staying within that MAF level, but rather than, every 5 or 10 seconds looking at your watch, just listen to music or a podcast, guys, and just takes your mind away from it. And I found that really helpful. I never ever used to run listening to music, but when I came back and started using the MAF method, I found it really easy to just get lost in the music or the podcast, and before you know it, your run's over, you're stuck to the MAF heart rate level and everything was honky-dories. Hey guys, I said I only had 3 tips, but I've got 2 bonus tips for you. The first one's pretty simple, and that is at the beginning of each run, just make sure you're walking for a few minutes, and that just helps to increase the heart rate slowly. And then when you do begin running, guys, just keep that run really, really slow so that you're not elevating that heart rate too quickly, and that's going to help you stay within that MAF heart rate level. Second bonus tip, guys, is that when I started using the MAF, I completely changed my diet. I went to a plant-based vegan diet. Now, you don't have to do this, but I think that having a healthy diet really goes hand in hand with the MAF. I found that the improvements were greatly enhanced by an improved diet. You want to make sure that you're fueling the body properly so that you've got the energy and the strength when you're running. Like, you wouldn't put bad fuel in a car and expect ultimate performance. Fuel the body well, and that should bring about some good running, either with the MAF or whatever sort of running that you're using. Now, I'm not advocating one diet over another. I'm just giving you what worked for me. Alright guys, that's it. I hope some of those tips which helped me may help you. Let me know if you do use any of those tips down in the comments. Strike up a bit of a conversation. Guys, if you've made it all the way through to the end of this video, thanks very much for watching, and would really appreciate it if you showed the video some love by hitting that thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Would really appreciate that as well. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching. So stay safe, happy running, and I'll catch you in the next video. Hooroo.